Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Blank Space podcast. I am so excited to have this person on that I have had to restart to the beginning because he is one of my favorite humans on the planet. Tim Joe is a Korean American actor born in Dallas, Texas, and raised in Houston. He went to Trinity University where he intended to pursue computer science, but as many of us did, shifted into drama and communications. On television, Joe has established himself with a range of memorable roles. He's currently a series regular on Hulu's Reasonable Doubt. You also know him from NBC's This Is Us, Fox's Pitch, ABC's The Neighbours, Glory Days, For All Mankind, SEAL Team, Castle, and Greek. Joe's film work is equally varied. He starred in the 2022 feature Art of a Hit and has appeared in projects such as Danny Collins, Division 19, Band Slam, Fame, and numerous independent shorts. He is also a musician, having performed in Animals of Kin and Much Better. And alongside his screen career, Joe is deeply committed to the theatre community. Since 2009, he has been a regular participant in the Blank Theatre's Young Playwrights Festival in Los Angeles, performing in countless readings of new works by emerging voices. In 2024, his long relationship with the organization expanded when he was appointed to the Blank's Board of Directors and supporting arts education. Whether bringing depth to television ensemble, grounding in independent film, or championing the next generation of playwrights, Tim Joe continues to build a career defined by range, heart, and advocacy for storytelling in all its forms. Welcome, Tim Joe!
Thank you. Wow, that was and now it goes downhill from
Nope, it doesn't.
that was
Doesn't go downhill. It doesn't.
wow.
No, Tim is one of my most favorite people. He is one of my most favorite actors I've ever worked with. You are a gem, an absolute gem in every single way. We know each other. We've known each other for over a decade. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Because we both worked on The Neighbors. I played Jackie Joyner Kersey, you played Reggie Jackson, and I was your mum.
Yep. Uh,
So tell me, what was it that made you switch from computer science to drama and communications?
to be honest, I think even getting into college for computer science was me just wanting to fulfill the path that I thought I was supposed to be on, which was apply to colleges and apply to the department that I thought was the easiest to get into. So for another college, I wrote an essay about Jurassic Park and went in for paleontology or whatever. Another
Nice.
school, this school of choice that I didn't think I had the chance to get into because at the time Trinity was the one that would impress my dad the most.
Mhm.
I went in for computer science and wrote, I think, an essay about Toy Story and digital graphics, not knowing that it was more about computer science.
Wow.
And somehow I got in.
What do you mean somehow? This is a man who can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes. I've timed him.
Somehow I got into that. But so once I was in that computer science class, I realized, well, no, I got into college. I felt like I made my dad proud, but once I was in college, there was no focus. Like a young man that I just had no desire to do anything with computers, and I stumbled into an acting class, and like many of us, that's when something was birthed inside me. I think
Had you ever done any acting classes before that? Any
just
theater?
once I had because we, like you, I moved around a lot, so I lived in Europe for a little bit. So for just like this flash of life, for 2 years, I lived in Warsaw, Poland. So moving from Texas to Poland couldn't be any
Wow.
more different. So getting to see the world for 2 years and moving to this international school, and on my second day of school, I had a girlfriend. A month later, I was like class president. No, a month later, I was the kid that was introducing new kids to the school. And this was the same kid that was extremely introverted, super quiet, just the quiet Asian kid in Texas all of a sudden becomes Mr. Popular in Poland.
I know why though, because you were in an international school. So there were more people who of different backgrounds and you probably felt more seen and like you belonged more. So you were able to show your insides a little bit more.
And they pulled it out of me as much as that they let me feel comfortable to let it show. And like a year later, we were just skateboarding around the school, wanted to crash this musical audition, and I wanted to make my friends laugh. So we went in and I just fooled around, improved a lot, and they cast me as one of the lead actors of the musical. That was my first experience with of having permission to be myself or giving myself that permission to leap, to make that leap.
Mhm.
Because I think still to this day, acting is always a leap for me. It's nothing that I can just like turn on the engine and go. It's always facing my biggest fear.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is for the best actors, because a challenge is also exhilarating. And the second it gets boring, you shouldn't be doing it. And everything that you just said as well highlights why it is so important for diversity to exist in every space.
Yeah. If I hadn't gotten cast or even gotten that opportunity, I wouldn't have become an actor. But let's say if I did go to Trinity.
You'd be sitting at IVM
Yeah.
somewhere.
But at Trinity too, they it was a really small theater department at the time. Well, not really small, but it was for me to walk in through those doors and be embraced was another gift that was given to me. So,
That's amazing. When was your first foray into television? When did you move to LA? When did that happen?
right after graduating, I was gonna go down the path again because I was so terrified. I had dedicated myself to becoming an actor in freshman year of college, which was maybe 2002, 2003, and started taking classes around town. Got an agent in Austin and an agent in Houston, and just started doing commercials and industrial films that I hope never see the light of
I've done the
never see
same
the light
thing.
of day. Yeah, so I did that for all throughout college. When I graduated, I went and did something called the University Repertory Theater auditions, (URTA).
Yep. Mhm.
Flew to San Francisco, got vocal acceptances at 3 colleges, got accepted into 1. They reneged and took back my acceptance 2 weeks
What?
later, or a couple months later, spun me for a tailspin, which got very dramatic. I found myself for like 2 months just really spiraling and rebelling for the first time and doing bad things, and all this stuff happened, which ended up with police and all these things happened.
Ooh, bad
My
boy.
head getting split open,
Oh my God,
things all
Tim.
bad. All of this happened, and then my parents said, "Why don't you just move to LA?"
Get out of here. Go somewhere else.
And then so I moved to LA. I reached out to a director that had directed me in college. He said, "I have an acting school out in LA." And that one little excuse gave me the reason to move out to LA. I remember asking my mom, reading everywhere that it would take 10 years to really find yourself with any kind of success or a job or even to see me on TV. It's going to take 10 years, and will you guys morally and financially
Yeah, right.
support that? And I think they were just like, "Oh, no." But they gave me their blessing, let me move out to LA, and it was 10 weeks later that I auditioned for a cattle call audition for a studio film, booked that, and my career began.
Okay, now we're going to rewind just a tiny little bit.
Mhm.
I think I know the film he's talking about. And if I do, there's a story that I need him to tell that relates to something I've said before, which is that a lot of acting is saying that you can do stuff when you can't do it and kind
Yeah,
of like leaping and the net appearing. So
yeah.
please do tell us the story of auditioning for this
Well, it's
amazing movie.
a movie called Band Slam, sadly, a movie that not many people saw.
Oh, am I talking about a different one? I'm
May
talking about
Oh,
Fame.
oh, Fame. I'm
Okay, but tell us about
Oh,
Band Slam.
that's a horrible story. That one
Tell
we
us
can tell off camera.
tell us this first one.
'Cause that one was with your co-star, Kelsey was he's part of one of my most horrific moments of my career, and I know he doesnson remember, but it's one of the most horrific.
You have to
I've
tell
never
it
told this
now.
story before. I've it's horrifying.
You have
Tell you
to.
the Fame story instead?
Sure, okay.
Okay, so for Fame, I auditioned for the movie. They wanted a violinist, Asian guy violinist. This was like what, 15 years ago. Of course, they want an Asian violinist. I go in there. I don't play the violin. I borrowed a friend's violin. I practiced. Practiced. I audition. They're like, "Oh, we the acting pass. Can you come in and meet with our music director and do a violin audition?" I go back, I do another taped audition. I mean, I think I auditioned with the casting director again, and then this time they wanna see if I can play violin. I cannot play violin. I've never played the violin, but I think I spent a week trying my best to learn my way around. Because I grew up playing the double bass,
Mhm.
the orchestra bass. So I know my way around a stringed instrument. I somehow got past that guy. He's like, "Yeah, you can play violin." I go to set, and this is at the time, is I was auditioning for a role of a kid named Justin. I go to set, they send me to my trailer, and my trailer's it's not a trailer, it's a honey wagon.
Mhm.
It says Korean boy on there. I'm like, I'm I am a Korean male, but I'm playing a character named Justin. Like, "No, this is your room." I'm like, um,
Wow.
okay, so I remember, so now I had found out that I was playing Korean boy. I was like, "What does Korea how did this Justin
What?
become Korean boy?"
I
Anyway,
have a name.
I go to set, I rehearse my scene with, Mr. Grammer. Nervous, he's probably the most famous person I've worked with at that point. The director says, "Nice, nice, nice, a little less. Like, you don't have to be so nerdy." So I'm pretty sure I was like, I was doing a terrible job. He said, "Just a little less, but let's do it a couple times this way, and then we'll do a couple times in Korean." And I was like, "Got it." I'm walking off set and I'm like, "I don't speak Korean like that. I have no idea how to do." One, I can't. And then and I'm doing the scene with Kelsey playing the violin, and then I have to blow up at him. And so we do the scene. When he says for me to get prep it in Korean, I start pacing around the set looking for another Asian person, thinking, "There's gotta be somebody that can help me translate this." There isn't. There's no Korean people in the crew. So, we go to set. I've been told, like you said, always say that you can
Mhm.
no, usually the advice that, you gotta really be wise about when you say you can do something or not. So I do it in English. He's like, "Okay, now let's do the Korean version." And I blink, and it's filmed, and I this is so racist, but I just ching chong it.
No.
I don't know what to say. And I'm like, "Ka-chow, tong, tong, ching, chong, chong, tong," like that. And I know I'm doing this opposite Kelsey Grammer. I know he can. I'm looking at his face. He knows I'm not saying he knows I'm saying gibberish. I know I'm saying gibberish. Yeah, fast forward a couple months later, I go to the movie theater to just watch it. Of course, I'm not invited to the premiere, and I get a split second, maybe a fraction of a second on screen. And I was like, "Nice."
Yeah, okay,
God,
that worked out for me.
it worked out.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, none of that was your fault, really. Because, first of all, you auditioned, you practiced, you gave them the chance to be like, he doesn't know what he's doing. You did a great job.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, yes, he asked, can you speak Korean? But I think that they made a lot of assumptions there,
Uh,
right? Like, there's like, and the same thing has happened to me. I was on my first film that I ever did. I had 2 lines and I wasn't invited to the premiere and they like, I don't think you barely saw my face. Everything was from the behind me, it's that thing. But you were in the movie Fame and you acted with Kelsey Grammer. So that's pretty awesome.
Hey, it gave me a very valuable credit while it before the movie came out, that having that on my resume was very valuable for that time and probably led to other opportunities. So great.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I want to rewind again and I want to hear about the open call that you went to for Band Slam.
I'll make it really quick. Another one, they wanted a guitarist that could act or an actor that could play guitar. I didn't have a guitar. I borrowed my friend's guitar. And I thought about what is the hardest song that I can play that is the easiest. That it sounds the hardest, but is the easiest. And in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna do a medley of Master of Puppets and Enter Sandman by Metallica
Yeah.
because it's very easy to play, but it's
Yeah.
fast and it's cool. So I learned that in a couple days as fast as I could. Went to this callback, and maybe for the first and last time, maybe probably last time now, my first and last time ever, I went completely in character. There was like, I think I was the last person to be cast in the movie. They had already gone through rounds and rounds of auditions. People that eventually got cast had to go through music auditions.
Oh, wow.
Charlie Saxton, one of my best friends and bandmate of mine and Sean's, he went through a whole round where he flew out to LA and did in-person mix and match musical auditions. I was never a part of that. I was just cast
Wow.
off tape. And then at the very end, I just bowed and said thank you in as Tim and left the room, thinking I would never hear back. But that was my first job.
I'm not surprised. I mean, So, one of the terrible things about this industry is that if you fit a certain demographic that is referred to as a minority, whether you are Asian, Black, Native American, LGBTQ, whatever, you are put in a very, very, very tiny, tiny box where there are just a few things that they think that you can do.
Yeah.
And one of the most unfortunate things about that is that then they lose great performances because I have to tell you, Tim is one of, and I have worked with a lot of people and I know a lot of actors. Tim is one of like the top five most versatile actors I have ever worked with in my entire life. And I was able to see that firsthand in The Neighbors because we had to do so many different things. And every single time we did something different, you exceeded everybody's expectations. And we were so lucky because the writers wrote towards that. They gave you so much stuff to play with. You just so talented. Oh
Yeah, I
God.
mean, working opposite like you and Simon Templeman, I had a high bar that I was always trying to like,
Mm,
trying to see if I could at least hang with you guys.
I think we were all on quite equal footing. I mean, we had such a good time, such a really talented group of people, and then there was Dick Butkus, Ian. Ian was so lovely, but so awkward, and the rest of us would like just totally get it, and then we'd be like, "Okay, do it this way, Ian. Okay, do it this way," and he always ended up getting it, but it was
Yeah,
like, and you had the most beautiful relationship with him too. You really treated him like your little brother. It was so
yeah.
sweet. Oh my God.
But if you want to get real, like what back to what you were saying about being sort of typecast and pigeonholed, like when you describe my career, in that beautiful description, it sounds like I've been working a lot and it's been you know, great opportunities, but the truth of my career is that I only have a handful of guest stars. Maybe I've only done maybe 3 in a career of 12 years. 3 or maybe 4 guest stars. I've auditioned
Yes,
for
but
hundreds of
how many series regulars have you done?
4.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
That's rare for someone to have done 4 series regulars, and then you've got recurs on top of that, right?
Yes, and I would
Okay.
say my strongest recur and 2 of my series regulars were with the same guy, and
Yes,
so it's
but that same guy is one of the only people who had a show running in Hollywood this last season while Hollywood was dying because he is such a talented man. And if that man wants to put you in everything he's doing, that says a lot about you.
I mean, without him, after The Neighbors, I had no career. Because, like we both know, my opportunities that would show up in my email once a month, once every other month was, "Guys, I just did The Neighbors and now I gotta do, like, one-line co-stars? Is that
Mhm.
really what's out there for me?" And
Yeah.
I can only read for Asian guys? So for, like, 3 years, I'd only get small Asian roles. And I'm like, "How about just a male in his late 20s?"
Yeah, who happens to be Asian.
Or
That would be
doesn't even
nice,
have
right?
that, yeah, we just can I not get in that room? Why does every room I go into have to why do they have to look like me?
And that is something that I don't think a lot of people understand when we talk about diversity in the acting space, especially on film and television. People will say, "Oh, I see Asian people on TV all the time. I see Asian people in films all the time." But you're seeing like a role every now and then. It's usually a very typecast role, and every Asian guy in Hollywood is going after that one role. It's not like a whole plethora of roles. It's not like you're getting into like this was written for a white guy, but we're giving people of color a chance too.
Yeah. In, like, 20 years, I say how many times can I say I've been in an audition room with non-Asian people? My
Mm,
opportunities are strictly given to people that look like me. But the flip side to that, the beauty of even why you and I are talking on this podcast was the blank and YPF is the place that gave me the opportunity where they were colorblind. Sort of like
mhm.
my high school and my college, those were the experiences when I was struggling here in LA that said, "Hey, come, Tim, you play with us." Not Asian guy, Asian Korean
Yeah,
boy.
Korean boy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just you know, the blank saying, "Hey, we've got interesting stories and characters here. Come play with us." So I remember doing my first play, my first YPF before I had booked a series or anything. So this was post movie, struggling to find that next job, and doing my first YPF taught me so much. Just I I know as actors, we like to think that this is all charitable work we're doing for the youth, whatever. No, no. As an actor, as Tim, that was a teaching moment, and I benefited from it fully. It grew me as an actor. I got to work with because the way we approach it as actors when we do YPF is like I said, we aren't doing charitable things for these young playwrights. These young playwrights have fully the right to be professionals. We're just giving them the opportunity to do it. And as actors, what a gift it is to be able to be given this opportunity to just get on stage because
Absolutely.
especially in LA, there's so many union rules and things that
Hmm.
can prevent us from getting on stage. So to allow even film and screen actors, TV actors, the opportunity to get on stage. I think that is another reason that for the last decade plus, I'm always telling any of my actor friends, you got to get on stage and you got to get on the YPF stage. It
Abs
changes
I
your life.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's very true. I mean, when I first agreed to do the show, Daniel had do the YPF, sorry. Daniel had been asking me for years and years and years, and I never had the time to. And then during pandemic, I was like, okay, now I have the time. I guess I'll do it. And then I realized, oh my God, exactly what you're saying. Like this is, yeah, like, okay, I'm quote unquote doing them a favor, but this is doing so much more for me than I could even put into words.
Mhm.
The playing, the roles that you get that, other people won't give you.
A challenge. These
Yes.
playwrights challenge you.
Yeah, it's so true. And we do, Tim and I are on the board now. We are working on different things, as you can see with the podcast, to try to open the blank up to the world so that the world can like come and participate. Because I feel like this needs to be a place that when new actors come to LA and they want to play, or someone is like between jobs and they want to play or whatever, they want to be revived, they want to be revitalized,
Mhm.
this is where you should be coming in LA. This is what we do at the Blank Theatre.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the NYPF is so it's just so important. I don't think people really understand. I like you, I discovered that I like to act much later than most people. I was in high school and I didn't think I was going to study it in college. And this gives people who otherwise would end up with an engineering degree or something, an opportunity to be like, wait a minute, I was chosen out of hundreds and hundreds of other kids. I'm now one out of 12
Yeah.
who gets a professional director and professional actors on a professional stage, and I get to do this. I'm good at this.
Mhm.
It's a gift.
And you look at the track record of those that continue on the process of this being their moment that changes their trajectory, and they do
Hmm.
become professional writers. It's
Yeah,
the proof is right there in the pudding.
it is. Limitless showrunners, screenwriters, playwrights, people who've won all
Every
sorts of
award.
awards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's
work from the very top.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and the plank gave me a home when I was first here as well. I wasn't doing anything. I was working in a restaurant, and not much later than you, and I think it was around 2011.
Mhm.
I went and I played on stage with them for the first time, and I kept doing it until I got the neighbors and I became too busy. It's a really amazing place. Want to shift gears a little bit. Okay. So Tim mentioned that he grew up playing a musical instrument and that, he had to like struggle with the guitar and struggle with the violin, and he's being a little modest. I have seen him on stage. Animals of Kin, right? When I went to see you guys, I think it was at the Viper Room. Was it at the Viper Room? It was like Arcade Fire. I don't know if you've ever seen them live, but they kind of like switch off musical instruments. Well, Tim was going from the drums to the guitar to the bass guitar to singing, like vocal, like, okay, this is my song. It was incredible. Keyboard, this, that, the other. I was like, what is happening? How many instruments does this guy play? You are so talented. And he is phenomenally gifted also as a musician and a singer. After Animals of Kin, you ended up in a punk band with my husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was interesting. My husband's a mechanic. He has nothing to do with anything, but he's been in a lot of punk bands.
Well, I remember, we were doing The Neighbors.
Hmm.
You introduced me to your boyfriend, and I saw him, I was like, "This guy and I would be friends."
Yeah.
And I asked him, I think I even asked him, I was like, "You like punk music?" "Yeah." I was like and I meant it, but probably sounded flippant. I was like, "Hey, if you ever moved out to if you ever move out to LA, we should jam."
Yeah.
And kept my word, and I think y'all got married, and when he moved out here, I hit him up. I said, "Hey, you wanna come jam with me and a buddy?" And that was the beginning of our punk band.
I think it got a little interrupted by the pandemic
Yeah.
and all of us working and whatever, but you guys you were so great. It was a great band. And now Charlie is what did you say he's doing? He's on
Oh,
tour?
Charlie is he is, traveling the world on tour with My Chemical Romance. He's part of their theatrical experience of the Black Parade. It is the coolest thing ever. Like,
Wow.
it's just I'm eternally proud of him. I'm always looking for new updates or posts or pictures that come up. But if you are a fan of My Chemical Romance, or you've been following their latest tour, you know who Charlie is.
Wow. And Charlie he's a very successful actor in his own right as
Yes.
well, Saxton. And he's such a lovely man. It's good to see good things happen to good people. You must be
Yes.
having a blast.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Now I want to know, I'm very interested in what you think of the trajectory of Asian people in Hollywood, considering how well Asian film, most specifically Korean film,
Mhm.
is doing these days.
I do wonder, like, this is not coming from anywhere educated. Just my thought is K-pop is the hugest thing in the world right now, right?
Hmm.
Would an Asian American artist be able to come out and make the same impact? I don't think so.
Hmm.
So, as well as Korean film and K-dramas have taken over the world, do I think that has offered Korean Americans or Asian Americans that same opportunity to get a slice of the pie? No, it's not our pie. We are
Right.
Americans first and foremost. We don't want a slice of this Asian slice of pie. We wanna be part of this American Now this is sounding stupid.
It's not sounding stupid. I know exactly what you mean. But
Yeah,
do you think the fact that so many Americans and non-Asian Americans
mm,
are obsessed with K-pop and Korean dramas and K-pop dramas and,
yeah,
K-pop animation and all of that stuff, do you think that might open up a little more, you
edu
know?
yeah. I think we're a lot less foreign to people now.
Mhm.
I do hope my daughter's not asked, when she says, "Are you Korean?" I hope she doesn't get the, "Are you North or South?" So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we can get past the, "Are you North or South?" that means the general public actually understands that there is a North or South and how ridiculous that kind of question is. Then that
Mhm.
means we've made a gigantic amount of progress. Just that.
Right. Yeah. It's so interesting to me too because every now and then you have an Asian performer who becomes incredibly popular and well like a male there have been a lot of female Asian actresses who have
Mhm.
like Lucy Liu, although she's still not given the credit she deserves, but who have done a lot of work and been seen as like a sex symbol and beautiful and whatever, and every now and then that comes along for an Asian man as well. We had Bruce Lee in the 70s and everyone was in love with him, but then that didn't do much, and through the ages we've had different, recently your friend, Steve, he, started out as the geek on The Walking Dead and ended up being a huge sex symbol that everyone had a crush on,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
but then it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't move the dial
yeah.
much further, and I always wonder why that is, why people don't, if even the industry thinks, "Oh, that's just a one-off, it'll never happen again,"
Mhm.
and why we still, while seeing that, have not gotten to a point where people are wondering, "Oh, can this person do well on this because they are Asian, because they are Black, because they are this, that, or the other?"
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, "This guy's a good actor, let's put him in this role, he's a great part of the ensemble." What do you think is still stopping that? Is it just general racism?
Yes. I mean,
Mhm.
let's say if they ever made a revival of Friends, they might have one Asian guy. Never in a million years would they have two Asian guys. They might have one
Right.
Asian girl. They're not going to cast two Asian girls. Never in a million years they'll do that. Would they cast two white guys? Yeah, of course they will.
Yeah.
They wouldn't think twice
5.
about casting a third or fourth white person, but they are not going to cast two black people.
Mm-mm.
two Asian people. They're gonna just cast one of us. So maybe going back to, it seems at times people get to hold the torch for a little bit. I do hope that some of my colleagues right now, the way they're navigating their careers and their choices and the work that they're putting out, it's not a torch for them. They are, they have overcome that and are becoming someone like Steve. He is just a name and he's a star. He's overcome that, I hope. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe he's holding a torch anymore. I believe the work will come to him, instead of him having to fight for it. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's due to all of his smart navigation and
Mm-hmm.
just brilliant talent. I think it just comes down to the industry tries to pass its torch and they only give us one at a time.
I've never heard it put that way, but it is true. It's very true.
Yeah.
You have that one person kind of holding the torch.
Yeah. I mean, because like when someone is holding the torch, oftentimes those auditions says, "We're looking for XX type," and
Right.
you're like, I've had friends audition for roles that said, "I am that XX." Why don't they just give
Right.
it to me? You're looking for
Right.
a something something type that, and
That's actually my name, you guys.
yeah, and that friend couldn't get cast.
Wow.
Weird.
It's so, so painful. It's so painful because I mean, again, you are one of the few working actors right now because it's so dead. But I also want for you to have more versatile roles so that you can show your range. Your range is insane.
Oh, thank you.
You know it's true. You know your range is
I
insane.
I think going back to it's do what I think acting is one of the most terrifying things in the world for me. So let's say when I did return to the blank and I did a play, I saw that April Webster was going to be the director of it. And I said, I cannot miss this opportunity to work with the legendary artist April Webster. And so I read the play and I was like, but I can't play this character. He's scary, he's dangerous, and he's loud and brash. I can't play this character. But I said yes, mainly because I told myself I need to work with April Webster. And that play was like, again, and like every single one of my blank YPF experiences was a huge learning moment for me where I got to find a side of myself that I didn't know was ever existed because the blank allowed me, they said, you have it in you. Come find it or come
That
show it.
was such a phenomenal performance. Phenomenal, and not only that, but those you wearing the shirt with no sleeves, and Sean just like he's like, "When did Tim get so jacked?" I was gonna know. You like got so jacked. We were like, "Holy cow!" That was oh my god, you just ate that role, man. It was so good.
I'd never been given the opportunity to do that before. So I didn't know I had that side in me, and I may not have ever found it if I had
Mhm.
not done the blank or done YPF that year. So another reason why I'm so indebted to the blank and the YPF is it, yeah, it every time I've participated, it's unlocked something else in me that the industry doesn't really give me the chance to, or has ever asked me to explore.
Has never asked you to. Yeah, I mean, I feel like regardless of what is going on in government, because I think what happened was, so the government changed over, we were going in a direction where things were getting very diverse. And then all of a sudden, when the government changed back, that actually fell away. And I don't know if people were thinking about, advertisers in the middle of America and who wants to see what or whatever, but it went away drastically. And then I wonder if what happened among many, many other things, strikes and, fires and what have you, if there was a little bit of turmoil when it came to what people wanted to write and represent
Yeah.
and what the studios and networks wanted to do insofar as casting, because a lot of people want to write diversely. They
Mhm.
want to talk about things that should be spoken about in communities that are ignored. And I feel like a bunch of people were like, no, let's keep it light. And then everything just died. Because what I see coming back now is stuff that is quite a bit more diverse and quite a bit more in depth and showing minorities who are actually human beings, complex human beings, instead of just a stereotype representation of that one thing. Do you think that we have chance at having on-screen experiences that actually mirror real life?
I do, especially when keeps coming back to the YPF, but when you see what these young writers, what's coming through their heads, what they, because back to being just a punk rocker, punk rock is almost like an fu to what's going on in the world and your reaction to it. And these plays are so punk rock when you
Yes.
actually get to read what these kids are saying. It's no different than like a great punk rock song. So when you see that these are the voices that are creating music, or in this case, these stories, definitely gives me hope that that's in the because oftentimes what we see are coming from the brains of 30, 40, 50 year olds. But when you get to see what's actually being written by the 10 to 18-year olds, or whatever the age range is, then yeah, you can't
Yeah.
help but have hope for what's coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I do hope so. I am hopeful, I suppose.
Yeah. We have a lot of great stuff coming out of the blank in the next few years, a lot more performance-based stuff, and you're going to have much more of an opportunity. Just looking at the time, oh, we still have quite a bit of time, yay! And so I encourage you guys to stay tuned for that. You can also go over to our Patreon to stay tuned for things, and we've got tons of cool stuff on our Patreon. We've got little bloopers and little extra stories as well from the podcast that other people will not be seeing,
Yeah, you
but
can pay for that Kelsey Grammer story, guys. Okay. You gotta pay for that
nice.
one.
Maybe we'll just like pluck it out and
Yeah.
put it in the Patreon. But now I really want to get into some of those types of stories that, we'll probably let people listen to on the podcast. But so when we were on The Neighbors, the first year we did great. We were after Modern Family. They did a lot of advertising for us. Then they moved us to a different night and basically didn't tell anybody.
Right.
So we didn't have a lot of advertising happening. We did, however, have this one billboard on Sunset
Yeah.
that
It was on Melrose.
was it on Melrose? On
Yeah.
Melrose,
Uh-huh.
that had not been removed, but it said the same date and time as the year before.
Yes.
So Tim comes over to me one day and he's like, he tells me about this thing, and I was like, oh, I don't think I've seen it. He's like, well, I don't know. I wonder if I could do something to the actual billboard
Mhm.
to like so that people know that, we're still on. And I was like, I guess I don't know. I was like, I mean, I can help you find a ladder, but the rest is up to you. So I went to one of the crew guys, to Ryan, I think, and I was like, I told him, and he was like, oh, we'll get you whatever you need. And now I hand the story over to you, my friend.
So then I went to the art department and I said, "How big can you print something?" And they're like, "Pretty big." I'm like as tall as me big? And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you print out a picture of Dick Buckus? Just his face, a giant dick, you know? Just print it out for me." And then another one that says Fridays at what, 7 or 78, 7, 8, whatever central. So Fridays and then a big dick. So this was when Operation Big Dick on Melrose became a thing. And then I went over to Carla, I believe, in costumes, and I said, "Hi, there's a chance I'm gonna do something that gets me arrested and on TMZ. And if that happens, I need to be in character. So can you please give me an all black golf outfit? So when I get arrested, I will look like Reggie Jackson in an all black outfit." So she supplied me an all black um, golf outfit. I got this ladder that came from, I think, the Weaver's house, the characters next door, and I had my big dick and my Fridays, and I took it out to Melrose one night and climbed up on that ladder, st pretty high, traffic was going back and forth, and I stuck it up there, and and millions of cars drove by, nobody did anything. I put that
And
up
wasn't
there.
your now wife, then girlfriend, like holding the ladder?
She was holding the ladder, and I had a friend off to the side filming it all, just so when I got
Right.
arrested, it would be captured. Um, Nothing happened. Nothing at all happened. The next day we had a table read, I think, or
Yeah.
Friday, and one of our studio executives had a printout of a photo that someone had taken of that moment. He said, "Tim, you know what this is?" And I was like, "I have no idea what this is." Um, but that's the end of the story. Then we got canceled after that year.
Yeah. Cancelled.
But I will
Oh,
say, there's a part of me that I still drive by that billboard section, and I just get so much joy knowing that Mr. Dan Fogelman basically owns that Paramount lot across.
yeah. Yes.
The billboard that they would not give us any kind of grace. He's been shooting there for the last decade almost now.
He has.
So
It's
I
his
feel
home, basically.
so I love that.
Yeah. Oh my God, that I was so thrilled. You did a few things that were really, really smart and really funny. You dressed up as Reggie Jackson once, and I think you went
To Boys
to,
Town
and with the pies.
for the pies, and I went to the Golden Globes headquarters, and in character again. This time I was sent by Dan and the producers,
God, I didn't realize that.
and they sent me in a hot pink outfit, and I just fit right in. I was wearing this hot pink golf outfit, holding these pies. They sent me to the wrong address. I had to it was a mess. I ended up going I found myself at the Golden Globes, uh, office, and I sat down with the then head. I don't think it was I don't think it was like a troublesome guy. I think another guy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this is yeah, I don't think he was part of, like, the drama.
yeah.
But I sat down with him and his, like, staff for, I think, a good 30 minutes, and I pitched them the show and stayed in character again and, left, and that was it.
Amazing.
Tried every
Oh my God. If you guys haven't watched The Neighbors, do yourself a favor because it really we did so much strange stuff on that show. We had a Bollywood episode, we had a musical episode. Tim sang on that show all the bloody time. I mean, we did the strangest things, and it
You
was
and I, we
just
got to sing songs from Alan Menken.
yeah, we almost got Alan Menken as EGOT. We he was nominated for an Emmy for that, and it was so amazing.
Yeah.
It's I yeah, we oh gosh, if I mean I would have loved just one more season would have been I wanted to see what Larry Bird was having because he was having a baby.
Yeah.
I wanted to know. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Um
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not bitter about it at all.
I'm just, yeah. Like I've told you this forever, but that you should have a closet full of awards for your work as Jackie Joyner Kersey. Because I think I did tell you
Thank
just
you.
recently as well that my daughter is of an age now that she was interested in watching it, and when I showed it to her, she was just loving it so much. And as I was watching it, I was like, "This is so good," and I was like, "Tim, you're so good too."
Yeah, right?
I mean, yeah.
It's like it's so refreshing to like watch something from like so way back that is actually good and be like, wait a minute, I'm actually pretty good on
Yeah, I
this.
was like, man, because like this is what happens to actors. If you don't get a job for 3 years after The Neighbors, you're like, I must have been terrible in The Neighbors too.
Right,
Uh,
exactly. But even within the industry, I have directors, producers, writers all the time saying to me, I loved you on The Neighbors. That was
Rightfully
such a great
so.
show. I wish that it had kept going. But they loved the whole cast. They loved everything, and
There's,
so it was smart people got it. We'll just put it that way. And other people just they didn't know what was going on.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Also, in the fact that anyone who's touched that show or worked on that show, you look at their resumes. Go on IMDb, look at The Neighbors, and look at everyone who's touched that show, written on that show. They've got spectacular careers now. So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's absolutely true. Oh God. And then it was so funny. You guys were over and Tim, like, was showing his daughter, he was like, "Who's that over there? Who's this in this picture? Who's that over there?" When she realized that, it was the same person, she was like, "Ah!" I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, the
it
joy."
was yeah. It was, that's probably a highlight of my life that I got to do that. It's almost like one of my favorite things is when I got to take my daughter to Disneyland and she gets to see a princess. She
Mhm.
got to see Jackie Joyner cursing. That's just a very specific, like, it's only a gift that
Right.
you or,
It's very
I get to
niche.
share. Oh, so lucky to have that.
Oh my God. And then I just wanna ask one more question. Has being a dad changed this career for you insofar as how you see your roles?
In a way, there was a, I think there's a romantic pursuit of art that you can have when you are single and you can just go guns blazing and dive in, not method, but just like really dive into each role, invest and like just dig in and put everything into it. But when you're a parent, my desire to do that or the responsibilities that come with being a parent almost make me have to attack roles or even this career in a different way that I happily have traded.
Hmm.
I want to be a present father as much as I can, which probably means I'm more often than not going to turn down jobs that take me away from family, even though the job that I'm on now is taking me out of LA for half the year at a
Mm.
time. As an artist, it's deepened the well for sure, but as a pursuit of a career, I I almost feel like I've gotten a little more boring. I just
No, you have to be a little more practical.
I wanna be more practical. I wanna provide financially for my children as they grow up, and I wanna be present in their lives, and that's almost become so much more important than my own pursuit of art and expression.
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I
And I
totally
think,
get it.
I think there's a because 'cause I'm in the thick of it and so fresh right now, I am looking forward to or maybe currently, constantly trying to challenge myself to know that embracing the art inside myself is the only way I'm going to be able to sustain a career. It's not letting any kind of art go. If anything, I'm constantly trying to get closer to it and embrace my voice and try to discover that. So yeah, maybe that's what it's done. I went in a full circle to say I think the responsibility of wanting to raise a family has taught me that I can only do this job through pure intentions
Yeah,
and
I get it.
the pure an exploration of what I am as an artist.
Thank you for your time and thank you for being you. I love you
I love you.
so much. I mean, we don't get to see each other that much anymore, but I mean, you will always be one of my favorite people on this planet and one of my favorite actors. And I don't know, maybe this crazy universe will put us back on a show together one day. That would be the best thing in the whole world. And
God's ears. It's
yeah, right. Right up there. Come
good.
on.
You good.
And thank you guys so much for listening. As I always remind you, go out and find your joy, whatever it is that makes you feel fulfilled and happy. And we will see you next time here on The Blank Space. Bye.